Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-game show for the game between Collingwood and West Coast at Marvel Stadium. The Pies end up 13-10-88 to 8-11-59, the West Coast Eagles, and admittedly, they brought a really strong game. It was a high-pressure game, a bunch of tackles for teams from both sides. I thought West Coast moved the ball really well by hand in certain moments and periods throughout the game. Is it the game we wanted from the Pies? Probably not, let's be honest. But in saying that, 5 goals, a 5-goal win at Marvel. Look, take the win. Take the win. For the love of it. We're going to find out about you guys tonight. We're going to find out. Are you going to overreact? What boat or what camp do you sit in? Are you an overreactor and blowing this one game, or if you want to add St Kilda into it, are you going to blow that out of proportion, or are you content looking at the season from a long way back, looking at it with perspective, right? 13-2. Just remember that, okay? 13-2. We've passed every test. We've passed every test up until this point. And let's not talk about how every other team, when they come up against us, it's almost their biggest game of the year. I'm going to say that in games like this because it's a truth. It's a truth, and it's a factor. All right. Anyways, let's get the Discord going. And guys, if you want to be a part of the post-game show, simply just copy the code in the pinned comments. And if you are in the post-game show, if you're in the queue, you will be on. If we have to go till 2, 3, 4 a.m., I don't care. If you're in there, you'll get your shot on stage, okay?
He nailed both of me. You was
all right. Guys, mute please.
Player, man.
Mute please.
That's true.
They're having their pre-game
Skunk
show.
and Liver are kind of balancing the side off really good in the
All right. Hold on 1 second. Goodness.
He's on.
Ella, Manny, tell the Malakas to mute for me, please.
Everyone keep quiet. I'll tell him who's next. Just keep quiet. I'll tell him who's next. I'll go first and then I'll jump off.
Ella, what have you got?
Ella, Malaka, what happened?
Ella, look, hey, let's be honest. It wasn't the game we wanted, but we're not gonna doom and gloom this, are we?
No. We got as I said to you, we got the job done. The bombing has to stop. The bombing has to stop because they're rebounding off our forward 50. They rebounded off us and they cut us to shreds. So that bombing's got to stop. We're too tall forward. We're too tall. That's when the bombing starts. Charlie Dean, I told you. Charlie Dean is not AFL standard. He's got to go back. He can't run. He can't jump. He can't kick. And he's too weak in the contest. Maynard's got to come back. That's it. We got the job. We were lucky. We got out of jail. We got the 4 points. Just forget about this game altogether and get ready for Carlton. Just that's it. Simple.
You know what we need? Have you ever watched Men in Black?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it.
We need the amnesia wand. You know, the one where they flash out and you forget everything.
About shit.
Yeah.
Forget about it. What about where the fuck has that defensive structure gone? Ever since the Melbourne game, our defensive structure's gone. Remember, we were talking about
Hold on. How many goals did we concede tonight?
They kicked 40 points from the back half.
Okay.
40 points from the back half they kicked.
They moved the ball really well. They did.
Yeah, you know why?
Because they handballed it and they couldn't be touched.
Yes, because we bombed what happened was we were bombing the ball in. They were spoiling the ball. They weren't good enough to mark it because the defenders aren't good enough to mark it. So what they're doing is they were spoiling the ball. Our forwards were jumping on each other. They were spoiling the ball out. And because their defense wasn't set up, they were cutting right through us until the last quarter. The last quarter, we slowed the ball up. That's what we done.
I don't know.
We gave it to them by 30 points.
Look.
The first 3 quarters, the first 3 quarters were bombing the ball in, and they were rebounding off their back 50. They scored 40 points off their back 50.
Okay, but I understand that, right? But let's talk about. You said we weren't efficient going inside our 50. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so we had.
It's impossible to be.
We had. Hold on. Let me finish my point. We had 55 inside 50s, and we had 23 scoring shots. That's over 50% efficiency, which is elite. Top 2 in the league.
Yeah. All right. How many marks inside 50 did we take? Marks inside 50. Marks.
13 marks inside 50, which is also superb. And we had we also had 16 contested marks, which is a ginormous number for a single game.
Yes, we're talking about the Eagles there. But did you see the ball getting bombed in?
Not really. I mean, we're a little bit.
How many marks did we take? How many marks did we take inside 50 in the last quarter?
I'm not. I'd have to. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have the quarter by quarter dissection.
Yeah, I reckon that's when the most happened because we changed our game style in the fourth quarter. We built the ball up slowly. We're building it up so that they wouldn't get that. We were playing their game. They wanted to do that running handball game. Last quarter we slowed them up. Lucky we got Pendlebury there. The first 2 quarters, Pendlebury kept us in the game.
Yeah, he was best on ground for me. You too?
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, fucking oath there. The veteran there kept us in the game. First quarter doing some magical stuff. What about the goal from Houston? What a bullet.
It was timely. We needed that. That's for sure.
What happened in the second quarter there when we put 4 goals on them? Then we let our guard down again. I thought we were going to go on with it from then.
We all wanted us to see 10 plus goals. We just didn't get it. There's nothing more to it. We didn't get it.
Oh, doesn't matter, bro. It's one of those games. You know, one of those games.
Well, look at it. Marvel Stadium.
Just bank the 4 points.
No Bobby Hill, no McCreary, no Schultz. Like that's a lot of forward pressure and speed around the ground that we didn't have either.
That's what I keep saying every week there. Don't worry about this 100-point win bullshit everyone talks about. Just get the 4 points, no injuries, and get out of there. Got the job done. 10 points ahead now. Carlton next week. Get the others on. We've got to jailbreak. It's a jailbreak. Heard that song before, Malaka?
Nah, I think I'm too young for that. I'll be honest.
ACDC, haven't you heard it? That was a jailbreak song, and they've got out of jail tonight.
That's it. Who's next, Manny?
Oh, who's next? I'll tell you. Wait. I'll tell you who's next. It was me, then it was Mickles, then it was Allen, Nicholas Allen, then it was Boomer, then it was Ultimate Greatness, then it was Malice, and then it was the Bunny Rigger.
All right, done. Egine.
But Mickles is next. Mickles.
All right, Yasu File.
Yasu, bro.
Thanks, Manny.
Mickles.
Yo.
How are you, mate?
Oh, I'll save that win. Just something to keep in mind. Coming into this game, West Coast did beat Geelong by 33 points. So coming in this game, we should have won by more. But in a way, with the key outs we had, that's what kept them probably in the game. And like Manny said, Dean was just a bit of a liability in that game. Darcy Moore's kind of left. He's had some good intercepts, and then he's had some, he gave away some goals that I thought was a bit too much. But yeah.
I think maybe Darcy Moore maybe had one.
The team pulled in.
Yeah, I thought Darcy Moore maybe had one moment. I thought Darcy Moore had maybe one bad moment, but beyond that, he had a team high 9 intercepts. So I thought
he did.
Did you say Geelong beat West Coast, right?
Turnover he's had. Yeah, they beat Geelong. Geelong beat West Coast by only 33 points.
Yeah. So it just goes to show their form hasn't been horrible. They're on a really good upwards trajectory right now.
Despite West Coast being a bottom tier team, these guys have Liam Baker, who was like a standout for Richmond last year and the year before that. They've had some players, Harley Reid as well, stood out last year. It's just they're starting to collect some players from clubs and they're starting to make their mark. And funny enough, somehow this team put up a better fight than North Melbourne did. And that was our bigger bogey team last year.
Yeah. What else did you take away from the game tonight?
I think Charlie Dean needs, worst case scenario, I think he needs to be playing VFL again just to get his confidence up. But he needs to be someone needs to tell him that.
Yeah.
He needs to play like it's his last day because that form was not good enough against a team that was at the bottom. And a credit due to West Coast playing, they had a crack at it and they almost kind of got in there. But we can't be doing that against the bottom tier team.
Yeah, well, they definitely put our defense in some vulnerable positions, particularly Charlie Dean. Was it the game we wanted from him? Probably not, but maybe Brazzy Maynard comes in for him straight away. I'm not too sure. Just one moment, because I've just got to I missed Benny. I'm sorry, mate. Benny with the fiver. Couldn't watch tonight. Sounded like Maddie said in the week. Win anyway. No injuries and fuck off home. And that's exactly what we pretty much got. It was a painful. Look, not to be pessimistic, but the honesty and the reality of tonight was it was a painful watch. One more, Mickles, one moment. I got from Nasty. Sorry, the full name isn't coming up. Nasty Man with a fiver. Thank you, my friend. He says, they play down to the poor teams to make it interesting and humiliate the better teams. I love it. So this is a great point. I think I said it last week, Mickles, but as a Collingwood fan, in the position we're in, you have two fixtures back-to-back that you don't really look forward to in St Kilda and West Coast at Marvel. I'm watching the game in the first half, and this is maybe I'm sadistic, I don't know, but I was almost happy. This is crazy. I was almost happy that we were down by 8 points at halftime because I could be somewhat intrigued with what happens in the second half. Is that bad?
I'll be honest, I was like that as well. I was kind of like, we do need not a humiliating down, but we needed something to humble us a little bit so that we can get back up again with. So, not wrong.
Well, we have Carlton next Friday, and they haven't been going well, but it's a rivalry match, and they're due for a response, aren't they? So this might be the game where they really bring their best.
Coming into that game, Saad is definitely out for the game because they mentioned that he's concussed, so they're bringing debutant to replace him. So they just keep getting more injuries. Now, Carlton could come back and play also like West Coast did and play a pretty good game against us, but we'll see. Time will tell. I just hope that we get our act together and hopefully it would be nice if we can smash Carlton, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we want to see no remorse against Carlton where they are.
Yes.
For sure. What else have we got?
Yeah.
Nichols?
I mean, I don't want to take up too much of the spotlight considering we only got 3 more people left still in here, but at least, I'll just say what I can, and I'll just say that, we move on with the 4 points. I wouldn't say it's, painful watch or painful win. We won at least by 29 points, better than winning by single digits. So we'll take that and the 4 points and move on to Carlton.
That's it's what 6-day turnaround. Tomorrow will be Sunday. It'll be 5 days. sooner rather than later, and we can start looking forward to the games
Yep.
beyond this. So we'll have Carlton, Gold Coast. Just want to quickly have a look at our fixture. Do you remember, Mickles?
But we had a worse one, didn't we? We had what, a 5-day turnaround as well. That's happened before, so it's not like it's
We got Carlton, Gold Coast. We got Freo on a Sunday at the G. I don't mind that, 3:15, and then another Sunday game against Richmond, and then Saturday night blockbuster Brisbane versus Collingwood at the G. That will be huge. We got a Thursday night. Yeah, we got a Thursday night against Hawthorn. A Saturday night against Adelaide at Adelaide, and then our last game of the season for the home and away season will be against the D's.
Out of all those games, I think the Hawthorn one might be a little bit closer than I think it would be, because Hawthorn's now gotten back into shape. That's one. Number two, I think we might lose, maybe, if I really want to be pessimistic. We could maybe lose to Adelaide away, because do we really need that win at that point? But I think it was Jake in the Discord that mentioned, I want to give a shout out to him. Bank in the wins, and doesn't matter. Win's a win. We'll take the 4 points, and now we're 10 points ahead of everyone.
Very nice.
Still on top.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mickles.
Thank you. Cheers.
Ciao.
Let's go, Pies.
Up, Pies. Nicholas.
Hello?
Hey, mate.
Hello? Yeah.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad. I gotta admit, that was absolutely shit.
Yeah, it was a hard one.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally think we went too tall. I think we went too tall.
Did we?
Everybody was
just
crashing into each other and shit. It's just everybody. It's just all the tall timber keeps on flying at the footy, and then we get no mark. We get no mark in the end. But for example, if you look at Charlie West's first goal, he had a good clean jump at that, and then all of our other key forwards just got in the way. You know what I mean? And that's happened multiple times tonight. So I think that you just keep at least 3, basically the triple M's in there. I think adding Charlie West just added too much height.
Look, there's two ways to look at that. So the first angle that we look at is the game in itself. Within itself, I think we had 16 contested marks, which is a massive number. We still scored when we went inside 50, 1 in every 2 attempts. 16 contested marks, 13 marks inside 50. I think, yes, there were times where too many of the bigs went up at once, but there is that balance or that time to figure out, West was new to the system, so there is that leniency period. But the other angle is, do we see West playing the next few weeks? Probably not.
Probably not. Haha, you said it at the same time.
Yeah. So probably not. But I don't think he did himself any wrongdoing tonight. Did himself any harm.
But he played his role.
Yeah.
He played his role. But but there's something else I like to bring up is the VFL. One of the biggest standouts in that game was Joel Cochran.
He was great.
I don't know if you saw the game, but he was really lively down in defence. So and Charlie Dean wasn't too great, but he really did deserve that game though after all the consistent games. So you got to give him that. That was deserved, but he didn't really play very well. was really exposed. So the wide answer, what other key forward do you think we have? I mean, not key forward, sorry, key defender, I meant, that we have.
I think if just looking further ahead, I think we probably just do a straight swap for Charlie Dean for Braden Maynard. If that happens, I don't see us bringing in, and we don't have another key defender. That's the reality, unless we bring one of the big M's into the back line. But that's probably just not going to happen, especially this late into the season and where we're at.
It just was a bit of a superstition or whatever that maybe maybe Cochrane would have been knocking on the door, maybe.
Nah.
Especially from today's performance, no?
See, the thing is, Cochrane's more of a running back. I know he's 6'5" or 6'6", but he's very slender.
Yeah.
He's still very raw
so
as well.
He's more of a rebounder, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's more of that one and carry. So he's more of that one and carry defender, a bit like how do I put it? A bit like Jack Crispin when he was in the back line. Remember how he used to just burst from the back line and yada.
I think Cochrane could be a third key size defender at some point once he fills out a bit more.
Oh yeah, true.
So in the VFL,
I'll let the others come now.
Yep, all good. All right, thanks, Nicholas. Take care.
All right, you too.
Ciao. Greatness.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, mate. How you going?
You doing all right?
Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Main thoughts and feelings is that we got the win, had no injuries, and I'm sure there's plenty to complain about tonight just in terms of, I don't know, the effort and output that we had. But I think that all goes away when you get the win and have no injuries.
Yeah, for sure. And now we can look forward to more exciting fixtures, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I believe that is our last game at Marvel. So, so hopefully we can get a few more games at the MCG, and I think we've got a couple interstate games coming up too. So, just wanting to just get that game out of the way, because it just seemed like we just had everything to lose in that game and really not much to gain. I mean, obviously we came away with the 4 points, but I think you know what I mean when I say that. But it was just good just to get the result and sort of move on to next week, and hopefully we have hopefully we go into Carlton being ready to go. And I don't know if you obviously saw the game with Carlton and Port Adelaide a few days ago, but I've got such a head up with this. Basically, I think they sort of used the Port game as a bit of a they sort of wove the flag a little bit.
Yeah.
So the fact that they did that, I think they're trying to prepare themselves for us next week. So we'll see how that goes for them. But I think because we played West Coast on Marvel, it's going to be interesting to see how we pull up from that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely sure that Blues are definitely going to give us their best shot. It's just a matter of how we sort of take it, and then obviously have our shot back at them, sort of thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. They're due for a reaction, that's for sure. And the last 2 weeks, like you said, it is the type of 2 games where if you are Collingwood in those 2 situations, you'd be lucky. Like it's almost a lose-lose, no matter what the result. Unless you win by 80 points, there's not going to be a massive positive outlook on the result, like it was against St Kilda, like it was tonight. Probably going to be more or less the same in some way next week if we don't have a convincing win, but just given the context and the state of the environment at the Carlton Football Club, that eventually, what's the game? Is it roulette? You go black. At some point, it's gonna go red, and maybe red comes out next week for the Blues. Who knows?
Yeah.
People greatness
Yeah,
are
no,
talking about Big Roo as a potential key defender, but I mean, from what I've seen in the VFL, he's still definitely working on his craft, and I don't think he can be a part of the premiership till this year. What are your thoughts on that?
No, in fairness to him, today was probably his best game he's probably played for the club. Yeah, they're definitely. I feel like previous to this, he was probably more of a ruck that would go down back. Where I think, yeah, his recent sort of form, recent sort of games, he's been a defender that could potentially go in the ruck now. So, I think I said last week, think of like a Mark Blitzer sort of type. So, yeah, we're sort of trialing down back now, and I think, if we do sort of, it's probably not an ideal position to be in, because I know Cochrane was mentioned before with the previous guy, but he's definitely way too raw, and I think when it comes to Smith, I feel like he's also raw too. But I mean, if Dean goes down, or if one of our key defenders goes down, you're probably gonna have to throw Smith as the next player in there. Because even though that we've still got like Maynard to come back, just playing that key defensive role specifically, I think Smith's probably the next one to get that opportunity, which I do think he'll come good. It's just that his frame's just too light. But he is, especially with how he played today. We do know for a fact when it comes to Smith, he won't die trying. But no, is that the right saying?
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, he'll definitely be given it his all if he does, which sometimes can also be half the battle as well with a few of these guys. Because if you get a call in the back line and that's a bit sort of timid and unsure, getting a key position player to be full of confidence and just wanting to just attack the ball, as I said, that can be half the battle. And Smith definitely does that. He's just a bit what's the saying? He's just a bit too green for my liking. But um, we do know if he is thrown in there, he won't. Yeah, he won't be holding back.
Yeah, I wonder about his kicking action. It's a little bit suspect, and in the back half, I'd be worried seeing him kicking the ball out into the spaces, looking for difficult kicks. Even they probably wouldn't be looking for too many difficult kicks, and he'd be looking to dish it off to the likes of Houston and Dacos. But the jury's still out on it. It's clearly an experiment for the time being. I think they know Oscar Steen is ahead of him, which I know you love the man. Mason Cox is still in the picture. He wants to play on next year, so if he gets granted another contract, Illaru will effectively be fourth in line. And yes, he's young, but I'm sure they're just trying to find ways to fast track his progression into AFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think with Maynard potentially coming back next week, I think you find he'll probably come in and Dean potentially goes out, unless if they back him in, but you're not going to say no to Braz if he's ready to go. And especially with Carlton, we know they're a contested side, hard side, just around the contest. So, you're definitely going to need Maynard around there. And yeah, I just sort of felt around a few contests tonight that Dean probably wasn't, the strongest sort of out there. Just felt like he sort of pushed off the ball a little bit too easy. But again, as I said, what was it last week? He beats you with these footy smarts. So, but I think when you do have footy smarts, that also, again, half the battle with that is like also confidence. So if you're not, if you're not confident to read the play and to back yourself in, you can sort of drop in form pretty quickly if you don't have that going for you.
Yeah, that's it. All right, greatness, my man. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it as always.
Yep, all good.
Take care. All right, we'll keep it rolling in a sec. Guys, by the way, if you just so happen to want to support the channel, feel free to donate a super chat, or pretty sure the join button next to subscribe if you want to become a member of the channel. For those who are curious, this is eventually an ambition, or this isn't an ambition of mine to turn this into a full-time sort of opportunity. And look, this obviously is a bit of a passion project at this point. The love and the community that we have is amazing, and I want to continue building that. So more or less, this is also a thank you to all that are here on a week-to-week basis. This gives me, this job gives me fulfillment, and it gives me a sense of community, which is, I think, an important pillar in our life, and it gives us a voice. And I love how we are able to come together and have a fair chat, and I like that we're learning how to react to the way games are going, and just the ebbs and flows in sport, and appreciating the good times as well. Like, I was honestly a little bit not nervous. I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, tonight is the type of game where some people might lose their shit because the performance was unacceptable. 12 months ago, I'm telling you, you go back to the post-game shows. I know we're in a different position right now, but if you go to the post-game shows this time last year, it was a tough show to run because we were all so pessimistic and doom and gloom. And tonight is a good example of showing, like, us collectively understanding and being a bit more rational with where we're at, and not turning this into a dire type of stream where it's depresso espresso. So I thank you all. Anyhow. Boomer.
Hey, well spoken there, my friend, and I do agree wholeheartedly. Subscribe, you bastards. This ain't a free service. I got to say, look, we've tipped on this, and I'm now going to officially put it forward. We start calling Marvel kneecap a stadium because it's killed Braz. It got Rusty in his 300th game, I think, and he's a bit, what's the word, not tedious, he's a bit tentative when he's playing. I've noticed Steel Sidebottom doesn't like Marvel because he's sort of not confident, and I think it's to do with how he fucked his knee. And it's just a terrible place for us to play. However, I think we do miss, we didn't have Schultzy, Jordan De Goey, or Bo in the midfield, and that allowed them to have a lot of run. Okay, that's pretty fair to cop. I've got to say that we didn't really play our game. I think we kind of went early. We didn't do our keep tackling and wear them down game. I think we were a bit probably cocky, not intentionally, but it just happens. But I've got to say, on the positive side, those 2 goals that Skunk kicked were fucking awesome. They were low percentage shot, and he got both, and Hughes' goal, the big wolf from 50 metres. We pulled out some good goals, which we normally kick easier ones. Do you think?
I definitely think we made the most out of some difficult opportunities, like Tim Membry's shot from the boundary. I'm just trying to think of some other goals. I might have to rewatch it if I'm being brutally honest, but that's what I make of that.
Right. Well, here's a bit of an interesting one. I think it was one of the Fox commentators said this at the opening of the game, but apparently our first 10 minutes for all games this season is the worst in the league because we just don't play. For that 10 minutes, we let teams get away, but we generally do win first quarters. Tonight, not the case. And the opposite side is Carlton are actually second for leading at halftime in the league, which kind of blew me out that they have that record.
Crazy.
So they've been leading. Yeah.
I think when we played them the first time round, it was really a real slugfest that first half, and maybe Carlton had us for the most part. It was a real arm wrestle, but then that second half, it really opened up for us in that third quarter in particular. So we'll put that theory of being one of the worst sides in the first 10 minutes of a game versus a side that's typically really good in their first half. It'll make for an interesting watch early in the game, and we'll definitely put that on watch.
Yeah, well, you'd take that on board, wouldn't you, too? And look, here's the other one, too. Like, Darcy Moore, I thought was serviceable again. People tend to notice the one mistake, not the 8 good things he did. Isn't that weird? And I do that myself. 'Cause I
Who
didn't
was
know
that?
he had
Sorry,
what did Darcy Moore do that was a personal high tonight? 8 marks or something? Game high, 8 marks?
game high 9 intercept possessions. So for the most part, he was exceptional. He was almost faultless. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But there was one goal assist or one gave away a free kick that was a goal, I think. Isn't it funny how, though, we all remember that one, which is a bit sad, but we kind of do that, I guess, because we're naturally a bit cynical, I guess, being Collingwood fans. But also, though, just with it, I think, again, Jeremy Howe, that consummate professional that he is, he saves our bacon a lot. When Bobby Hill was announced missing, I thought, fuck, we've got a tall forward line and we're missing an extra front and square run on forward, like
Yeah.
small forward. So we've only got Jamie Elliott. That means if they've got someone who can tag him out and effectively nullify him, they're going to clear the ball, and they did. So lacking Bobby Hill, I think probably goes all the goal.
Boomer, you're cutting out. You got to
direct goals.
He'll fix his internet.
Sorry, mate, I missed that.
Yeah, right. I think we just
Hang
lost
on.
your bandwidth for a second.
Okay, well, I'll turn off my YouTube because I like to read the comments, but if I can't do it, I can't do it. Is that better? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Much better. Much better. Beautiful.
Okay. So where did I cut out when I was saying Bobby Hill? I think he probably cost us 3 goals, either direct or goal assists. Him not being there, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we missing Schultz, Bobby Hill, and Bo McCreary tonight will be the slowest forward line you will see. In saying that, our tackling pressure was high, pressure factor was high. I think part to why West Coast were able to transition really well, which was pretty much most of their scoring. They didn't really hurt us. They didn't hurt us off turnover, but that first quarter we gave them many turnover opportunities to score from. But I think if Bo and Lockie and Bobby are in the side, their build-up plays where they ended up scoring from wouldn't be happening. And like you said, when we did have crumbing opportunities, Bobby, Lockie, and Bo would be there to clean it up.
Yep. And now, just on the overall thing, because I mean, the way the team went tonight, we're lucky we'll bank the points. We'll get into that fucking kneecap at Centre Stadium. We got that not for the rest of the season, I think now. Thank God for that. And let's just bear in mind, everyone's been quick to bag Carlton and Melbourne, and well, we could have done better, but let's just put it down to the other angle, guys. Port Adelaide played pretty fucking well on Thursday night. Gold Coast deserved to beat fucking Melbourne today. They outplayed them. West Coast deserved to only get beaten by that bias. They played well enough. I don't think that score is unflattering to either team. They played well, and we were good enough to beat them. Thank fuck. So
pretty simple in the end. It says, you have to respect the fact that West Coast were really good for the most part of the game.
Yeah, but I just got to say though, at the start of this round, what's Port Adelaide's forward, Georgiadis or someone?
Yeah,
that was awesome. If that was Charlie Curnow, all the press would be wanting to fucking give him a hand job, and yet not many people mention Georgiadis. That was an awesome. I'd have him in our team, mate. He was fucking brilliant on Thursday night, and it's which team comes. But anyway, I'm going to say this too. I reckon Darcy Moore's gone off his game since he took out Petrarca last year. Remember he removed the kidney of Petrarca's by taking that big knee? I reckon maybe he kind of feels a bit bad about, where you injure a player like that. I don't know, because he seems to have been a bit funny in packs since then. I don't know if it's a thing or not, but just an observation. And one of my friends drew attention to it, and I thought, that's a pretty good call. I'll bring that up with Pies Footy.
I think that's a wild connection. That's a wild, those dots connecting those dots from way back when. I don't necessarily think Darcy's lost his maliciousness or relentlessness in the contest. I think for the most part this year's been really good. I thought Melbourne was a game and where I was like, oh, like that. This is kind of like Darcy Moore of 2024, and that really worried me. And then that was also, you bundle that on top of the mistake he made late in the game against Geelong when Oliver Henry kicked that goal. That's I started like, all right, okay, well, that bothers me. But outside of the Melbourne game and that moment in Geelong, he's been the 2023 Darcy. So I'm pretty happy with the way he's going right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, earlier this season, now I remember the Swans game, I think. I credit him for 3 goal assists with the Swans. And look, he has got better. But I just noticed that with him. And the other thing about it, though, too, is like I'm a Darcy Moore advocate, too. Although it might sound like I'm trying to bag him out, I'm just wondering why he's not the same greatness he was back in 2023.
Yeah.
So there's always, you sort of look for these things and think, why are they not playing as well? But I was just thinking about that injury thing. And look, I've had an accident where in the motocross days, I actually took someone else out and they ended up fracturing their leg. And every time I raced against him after it, you do think about it and you do feel guilty. You know what I mean? Like, although I didn't intend to break his leg, I broke his fucking leg. You know what I mean? And you do show empathy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if it works in footballers because I'm not that level, but thought I'd bring that up. But anyway, guys, I'll step aside now and leave it there and go Pies. We've got Carlton next week. I honestly don't see them getting out of the sludge there, and they're probably too deep. But who knows? They need to raise the game. They need to bring something. They need to show the fans they've got something to play for. So we'll be in for a good game, but I still think we'll get them. Anyway.
All right, Boom. I appreciate you, brother.
Cheers and peace out and go Pies. And you guys in the chat, by the way, I love all your comments too. I read them back later. And thanks for having me back, guys. I appreciate being appreciated. So cheers, guys. You make it worthwhile. Have a good one, guys. Go Pies.
See you, mate. Boomer, you're loved here, brother. Tony, thank you for the 2, mate. Appreciate it. Long time viewer at Pies Footy, mate. I reckon he's been here since the inception way back when in February last year. Nicole, love this channel. Thank you. Rangatank, love your work, man. Crazy game tonight, but still, lids off. We always match our opponents. Lower teams are always scarier for me. It's a psychology 101. More often than not, people are susceptible in a team environment to drop to the level of the team they're playing against. It just happens. You can set up safeguards to ensure that we don't capitulate, which is what we avoided tonight, and I think that's the main thing. Cooper, my man, love the Pies footy community. Great support from everyone. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Okay. We got Eamon next. Eamon. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you going?
How's it going? Yeah, good. How are you, mate?
Good. What'd you make of your Saturday night?
Yeah, look, we got the win. That's all that matters. I don't think we got any injuries, which is also positive.
Yeah.
I think we'll just take the 4 points and run.
I've been saying, like, I ask you the question: we as fans, how do you find the motivation to get yourself excited to watch Collingwood versus West Coast on a Saturday night when you could be doing other things, maybe not, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So imagine how the players would feel.
Yeah. I think they just got to keep in mind that, there's a lot of good teams behind us on the ladder, Geelong. I think Geelong have like one top 8 team to play for the rest of the season. So they're probably going to win almost every game for the rest of the year. So we don't have top spot wrapped up just yet. So let's just keep winning. Keep winning. Put yourself in the best possible position to win the premiership.
Yeah. So we're 13-2, probably 16, maybe 17 wins. 17 wins should definitely do it. 16 wins would be pretty close, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it should. But like I said, you just gotta make it a certainty.
Yeah, I'm just looking at last year.
We do have some tough games coming up as well. We still got to play the Hawks again.
Yep.
We got Adelaide away. We got Gold Coast away. We got Brisbane again. You know,
Some absolute
so
blockbusters.
we got to make sure we yeah. So we got to make sure we win those easy games. You know,
Yeah,
can't just sort of let it go down to the wire.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep our foot on the league's throat.
That's right. I mean, 17 wins last year got Sydney first spot, and then 16 wins Port had.
Yeah.
We're at 13 right now.
Mhm.
But Brisbane assumably have a pretty easy run, and Geelong maybe. So, and they're right. You know, they're not on our necks, but they're around the mark, 10 points behind us. But yeah, a couple more wins will do the job for sure.
Definitely. But it'll if you win the games you should win, then when you play those harder teams, you can kind of, not that you want to lose, but you can kind of afford to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is what you want. You don't want to be like, oh shit, we got to win. You know, when it gets to like those harder games.
Yeah, we're not left in that position like we were late last year. I'm surprised. I haven't heard much.
Exactly.
I haven't heard much of Dan McStay's name tonight. I thought he was top 5 tonight in the way he impacted the game.
Yeah, he was okay. Maybe I guess maybe because he didn't kick any goals. Maybe that's why. That's why. You know, when you're a forward, if you don't kick enough goals, people kind of think, oh, he had a shit game. You know.
Interesting. Did he not kick any goals?
But so you thought he was good? What?
Well, he didn't. Okay, he didn't kick any goals, so you're right there. But he had what? 11 touches, 4 tackles. I was mostly impressed with his contested marking around the grounds, and that was he had four contested marks, which was a game high. So that's what I really liked from Dan McStay, despite not being able to hit the scoreboard. He historically doesn't smash the scoreboard, but he does provide really good build up assistance. I feel.
I think having Charlie West in the team allowed him to play maybe further up the ground more and maybe play more in the ruck, get maybe more minutes in the ruck, perhaps, which was probably good for him.
Yep, definitely. I feel like Westy played really deep. Really, you didn't really see him play too high. You saw Tim Membry, Myercheck, and McStay pretty much almost clear out the 50 and just sort of gave Westy the opportunity to play one-on-one deep.
They did. Feel like we missed some of our smalls today. We sort of the ball kind of just got rebounded out of there a bit too easily at times. Fair.
We mentioned with Boomer, with McStay, McCreary, Hill, and Schultz all out. West Coast don't move the ball like they did tonight with them in the side. How many times have you seen Bo McCreary, Lockie Schultz thwart or Bobby Hill thwart teams transition dead in the water?
Yeah, definitely. Especially McQuarrie with his speed.
Mate, so I think once they come back in, even two out of 3 of them coming back in, do a lot for us structurally.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think today showed how important Frampton is. You think?
Yeah, I saw some one-on-ones that Charlie Dean lost that Billy Frampton wouldn't have lost. And I think no one thinks Charlie Dean is the same type of player that Billy Frampton is. I'm a little bit disappointed that Dean didn't have a better game. I was hoping he could, because he's so good at VFL level, and I know it's 2 different competitions, obviously, but I just was hoping Dean could really puzzle the selection panel going into next week, because right now it seems like Braden Maynard in, Charlie Dean out. Simple.
Yeah, I think Charlie Dean, he'll probably make a good third tall down back. Like I think today with Frampton out, he sort of had to be maybe number 2
definitely
tall. And maybe he's not quite ready for that. What do you think?
No, He struggled last year. He struggled again tonight as that second key tall.
Yep.
You know, most of their goals came from transition. And once you beat that front half wall of Collingwood, you're going to get some really good opportunities going inside our 50 because of the space, their goal side of us. There's one-on-ones everywhere. Charlie Dean playing on guys who were like, 6'6", 6'7" tonight, I feel. I'm pretty sure that they were pretty tall when I looked at them. Like a Harry, is it Harry Edwards? No, that's the defender. Who was the one that was really impressive for? He missed. Jack Williams. That's right. He's a giant. 198, and he was playing on Charlie Dean at times.
Yeah.
So
you think he's just maybe not quite big enough to play as a tall defender?
Almost certainly, yeah. Almost certainly from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, okay.
Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, and there was like I was sitting like right in front of where I was sitting. There was one play where it was almost in the back, but it actually wasn't. It was actually more in the side where the West Coast player just kind of just pushed him, and he just kind of like rebounded off him and went flying forwards. It was in like the first quarter. Took a mark.
Second quarter.
Just like and I just saw that and went, wow, you're not strong enough, mate.
Yeah, that was near the boundary on the 50, wasn't it? Somewhere there.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking
that one.
about.
Yeah.
So there's two parts to that. Like there's that West Coast. That was West Coast. If you actually watch that specific sequence back, that was West Coast almost their best transition play the whole game. A lot of handballs. That's one part to it, and then that guy Jack Williams was goal side of Charlie Dean. Charlie Dean probably needs to be a little bit stronger in the contest or find a way to get behind him. But there's two parts to it always.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's fair enough. I thought this game was probably Nick Dacos' best game for the year. Maybe.
Look. If we forget about the opposition, he was pretty good. I dare say I could find a couple more games where he was a little bit better, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. He was very good tonight.
Yeah. Because I mean, he had 34 touches, and he actually probably could have kicked a couple of goals. He missed a couple of easy ones, I reckon.
He could have kicked 3 or 4.
He has had some.
Could kick like 3 or 4 tonight, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was pretty impactful, but yeah, he's had a lot of good games, I guess. It's hard to pick one.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to kindly explode in the final series and just have all-time performances. I want to see that.
Yeah. That's it. Do you reckon next game we gotta just unleash the Wombat just to get a bit of grunt in that midfield? What do you reckon?
So one of the conversations
I feel like our midfield's good.
No, go ahead. You go on.
I was gonna say, like, our midfield's doing good, but I just feel like at times we just need that little bit of grunt. You know what I mean? I'd prefer to have Jordan to go in there, but I don't know when that's ever gonna happen.
Would be nice. So I asked the chat in the pre-game show last night. I said, what's 3 things you want from tomorrow? They said they want the 4 points. They don't want any injuries. We got those 2. And the last thing was, do you want to have a guess? Do you know what the third thing could have been? Maybe there's some people in the chat who were probably here last night. What was the third thing maybe we wanted to see from tonight?
I can't remember. Was it Tom Mitchell? Something to do with Tom Mitchell? Wanting him to play?
Nah. So the third thing that most people wanted for last night in the pre-game show was to see us improve in the contest and the clearance realm. We were plus 12 in the clearance and we're plus 20 something in the contested possession realm. So that we ticked 3 boxes, all 3 boxes that we wanted. So that's to the Wombat point. Yes, in the last 5 weeks, in its totality, we have been poor. But there is that faith. I have this faith in the existing side right now, because early in the season we were pretty damn good in the contest and the clearance battle as well. We've sort of fizzled out a little bit. Hopefully tonight is a reboot. And when you get players like Jack Crisp, who's how many contested possessions did he have tonight? He would have had 13, I think. Scott Pendlebury just winding back the clock, 13 contested possessions. Jack Crisp 12. DC with 15 of his own in the ruck. So those types of players, if they can bring that every week, we'll be all right in the contest.
Why do you think it's dropped off in recent weeks? Because I think I was watching on AFL's website, there was that stats guy that they bring on. Forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about?
Hoyne. Daniel Hoyne.
Pointing him. Yeah. He was saying that from rounds 1 to 7, we only lost the contested ball once. And then from then on, we've been pretty poor. From round 8 and onwards, I think we've lost it almost every game, something like that. Have you noticed anything, something that you put your finger on and go, oh yeah, it's probably because of that, or I don't know. It's a bit strange after 7 weeks to just suddenly start losing it every week.
I think we're asking the wrong question. Do you know who the number 1 side is in the comp for contested possession?
Is it Carlton?
It is.
Huh? Yeah, thought so.
What does that tell you?
I guess it doesn't really help. It hasn't really helped them that much.
Nah. We just want it. Look, definitely, we don't want to be a bad contest side because it won't stand up in the finals. We just want to break even at this point. Over the course of the season, we're just below AFL average. The last 5 games, probably not good. I'm just looking at it now. We're last. That's the reality of it all. It needs to be better. It needs to be better. But we hopefully the reboot started tonight.
Yeah, hopefully.
And Peter brings up a good point.
I'm happy we got the game. I got the points.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to add one more point, Eamon. Peter in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
The fact that we've missed Lockie Schultz, Bo McCreary, and Bobby Hill at certain points probably makes a difference in the contest as well, around the stoppages.
Definitely.
All right, Eamon.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you, man. Take care.
Thanks, mate. You too. Cheers. See you later.
Michali.
How are you, pal?
I'm good. I am happy tonight is over as far as the game is concerned. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's just, mate, I'm never going to that stadium again, man.
Did you go tonight?
It's such a shit experience. Yeah, I did, mate. Because I was I'm the type of guy that goes, I probably only go to about 4 or 5 games a year, but I was really keen to go because I like going to games where, there's a youngster debuting. I remember back in early 90s, I went to Sav Rocker's first game and he kicked 4 goals. I remember, Nick's first game. And so I thought, I was really G'd up to see young Charlie go at it. But was that his first kick in league football, that goal? Do you know? Or I don't think he had a kick before that.
If it wasn't his first, it was his second. If it wasn't his first, it was his second.
Yeah. Anyway, with this match, it was. I look at it. There's 3 factors. Yeah, just like every week with the team that comes up against us, fucking treats the game like it's their biggest game of the year. So obviously, West Coast were. And they haven't been in shit form, but they were primed. Yeah, they were really up for it. You could tell, being there, you could tell the way they played. They were really up for it. The second factor is the fucking marvel being the match being there, and the third factor is I reckon we took it we took this game a bit lightly. I reckon we were conscious of injuries, and it wasn't like a conscious. It was like a subconscious thing. We just took it lightly, I reckon. Yeah, like it's kind of like the players are looking at the position they're in and the team we're playing, and they probably thought, fuck, we should shoe this in, yeah. And look, we won the game and we played fucking shit house, man. So I just don't want to. I want to see an improvement going towards the finals, man, because I was not happy with that performance, and the crowd, like everyone was frustrated in the crowd. It was one of the weirdest games to be at.
Yeah.
And I had a mad seat too, and I relinquished it because I just wanted to fucking. I got sick of watching all the fucking mistakes and all the turnovers we were doing and all the fucking intercept marks we were copying inside 50. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the fucking bar, man. I'm going to knock down beers. And at Marvel, you can watch the game standing up from the fucking behind the seats there. And that's how I watch the rest of the game.
So the energy was like from start to finish was frustrating, or how was it leading into the first bounce when Charlie West kicked his first goal, when Scott Pendlebury kicked that last goal running into the towards the goal square? Talk to me.
Yeah, look, that in the was it in the second quarter we had our first run on and we kicked a few in a row and the crowd got G'd up a bit. And then we just let him fucking come back again. I could not believe that happened. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And there was like an eerie silence. It's like, mate, what's this bullshit, man? Come on, boys. Look at us. We're all here, mate. It's jam-packed. We're here supporting you, mate. Give us a fucking, give us some effort, man. And yeah, obviously, I missed Pendle's goal at the end because I wanted to get out of there so I can get a nice seat on the train. Yeah. But what can I say? What can you say, man? Look, at the end of the day, you're going to have games like this. A mate of mine was saying to me before the game, he's like, are you going to win by fucking 100 points? And I'm like, hey, pal, man, we don't win by 100 points. No. Like, you look at the other fixtures today, fucking Hawthorn smashed fucking North Melbourne by fucking 80 or something. And then you see the previous week Bulldogs smashed whoever by fucking 70 or 80. We don't do that, man. We play, like every time we play, the other team has always got some sort of hope. And we usually snuff out that hope with, like a 15-minute period of dominance where we just ice the game. But even like the lowest teams, we give them hope, and it fucking shits me sometimes. I just like you just want to have those 100-point wins every now and then. Like you see Bulldogs and Hawthorn and Geelong doing it. It's like, can't we, beat these cellar dwellers by 100 points for once? Fucking hell, man.
They're keeping us engaged. And what did you make of your boy Lipinski's game, watching him at the ground? He didn't play on the wing, he played in the forward line. Thoughts?
Oh, look, he kicked his 2 goals. He seems to be, we're asking a lot more of him without McCreary, Schultz and Bobby Hill there. So a lot was asked of him. And I think he had an okay game. I will never be a Lipinski apologist, man, or a Hoskin Elliott apologist. Sorry, man. Like, look, did you see that piece of play near the end?
Yeah, I know exactly which play you're talking about straight away. I know, but besides that play, that play, he was good. He was.
Yeah, he was busy, man, and he was, important for us. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, all the Lipinski apologists are going to say, "Oh, he's dominated for fucking 3 weeks now." All right, we'll see what he does next week, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because
people get upset when we talk.
If he plays well next week, that's fucking unprecedented, mate. 4 fucking good games in a row.
Fingers
from
crossed.
Lipinski.
He's
Yeah.
an important piece.
But
He's an
Lockie
important piece.
Schultz- Yeah. Lockie Schultz is an interesting one because, like, he's hardly, to be honest, he's hardly played this year. But every game he's played, in the small sample size of games that he's played this year, in just that small sample size, he's redeemed himself from last year, just from that small sample size. Like last year, and the first game this year where we got done, where no one played well, everyone was fucking on Schultz's back. He's only probably played 3 or 4 games, and each game he's been integral. And it's amazing how he's redeemed himself. He's only played 3 or 4 games, but we know what he brings. And come finals time, I'm just fucking praying, man, that we've got McCreary and Schultz on those half forward flanks, man, just putting the pressure on, because there was today, man. How frustrating was it, man? Like, how many times did intercept marks, mate? I'm looking at the guy sitting next to me, and I'm saying to him, mate, we've got McStay, we've got Checkers, we've got Membry, we've got young Charlie, we've got Jamie, mate, and we've got unknown fucking little young kids fucking killing us with these intercepts. And then they're running out of defence like, what's going on? What happened to our fucking fortress, man? You know, I'm at, because I don't go to many games, and I'm watching and I'm looking for that fucking fortress defence where the opposition teams don't know where to go. You know, we've done that to a few teams this year where we've just bamboozled them. They've got no avenue. Well, West Coast were just fucking bang, mate, straight from defence and to the forward line, and they were, you know, hitting the scoreboard, mate. And that's what makes me think that we didn't take this game seriously. You know, because
How many points did West
enforce
Coast? What was West Coast total score against us tonight?
8-11,
59.
59.
So against
yeah.
Geelong, they scored 73. Against Adelaide, they scored 62. I think we did all right.
Yeah.
Come on, like they did link up very well. But that was the only way they scored. Ironically, they scored from a very difficult position in the ground, being their back half. They didn't score from turnover. That first quarter, we gave up the ball a lot. In particular, Josh Dacos probably had 4 or 5, maybe 6 turnovers in that first quarter. They didn't hurt us from those turnovers, so we were lucky because better teams will hurt us on the turnover there. But I do see parts to what you're saying there.
Yeah, look, that's just partly, I'm being critical, but that's just partly my perception of thinking the Eagles are a fucking rabble, which they're not. They're a young team, but they're fucking building, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They've had some even though they've lost some games, you know, they've been up and about. And, like, I didn't know, that kind of, like, wasn't in my mind when I was watching this game, and I'm thinking, you know, we should win easily by 50 points. But keeping them down to 59, now that you say that, they scored 73 versus Geelong and all that. Yeah.
Well, they haven't lost by more than 70 points since round 4.
Say that again, sorry?
They haven't lost by more than 70 points since round 4, West Coast.
That's interesting, yeah. Because I thought, yeah, that's a good point you make, because obviously they've gone under the radar in that aspect, because before you just said that to me, I had it in my mind that they've been getting done by 100 points, which is not the case.
Nope.
So, yeah. Looking at what did Nicky got 34 posies. Pendles was the best on ground, but that first half he was frustrating. He was fucking hospital handballs everywhere, man. What the fuck? But he redeemed himself. Yeah, I'm just looking at the team here. Jeremy Howe, mate, fucking hell, man. We can't if he goes down, we're going to struggle, man. Yeah, Charlie Dean, that VFL form, I was convinced he turned the corner, but obviously not. Yeah, I think we go small next week. Get rid of him and put Maynard in. I don't think Carlton's going to get McKay back, so it'll only be Curnow to worry about. And I reckon Darcy and Jezza can sort him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Look, going on next week, the media is going to be all over fucking Carlton. So they're going to get G'd up and they're going to come out like it's their fucking grand final. And here we go again. And we'll probably fucking scrounge out a fucking 2-goal win, you know?
Yeah. Hoping that doesn't transpire, but who are we to assume that it's not going to be a close game? I never go in thinking we should dominate anymore.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. The guy before me, Amon, said about Champions data. Carlton, I think you mentioned that Carlton are the fucking contested kings this year.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trend. Carlton are the contested possession kings this year. I couldn't believe when I heard that.
Yeah. Factual.
And it's obviously the trend of the game these days is like contested possession is obviously overrated because Carlton, they get the hard ball, but they fucking shank it and they cop goals. But yeah, come finals time, you'd want to improve on that. Yeah.
All right, Mick.
Much more. I love Membry's little cameo. Like you say, used to playing that fucking shithouse ground. He probably kicked so many goals on that.
He's had to do the dance a number of times more than you would have had to venture to Marvel, right?
Yeah, fucking oath. I'm never going back. I can't stand it.
I'm never going back.
I'll give it one thing. It's got like, you know, there's good access to to get a beer and, you know, to get a feed and all that. But man, it's just, I don't know. It's just soulless, man.
Marvel. The last time I went was West Coast 2022. I've never gone back since.
Yeah, don't go back, mate. Yeah, give me the MCG on a fucking cold winter night. I'll take that any day, mate, than a closed roof fucking Telstra. I don't even know what to call that place.
100%.
And now the AFL are going to buy Waverley and they're going to send us over there. I don't know if you're probably too young to have gone to that ground, but if you live in the northern suburbs, mate, whenever we'd have to play in Waverley, mate, you're catching trains, buses. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it's only it's what is it for me? It's like literally 2 main roads away from me, so it's hardly a venture.
You'll love it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right, Mick.
All right. No worries, pal. You have a good one.
You too. Thanks for jumping on, Mick. Yeah.
No worries. Catch you later, man.
See ya. Zeke. What is Zeke's full name? Let's see. Hold on a minute. Why can't I see it? Yeah. Zeke Jackson. Thank you for the 10. What has he said? Zeke says, man, we sound like Carlton supporters right now. I'm waiting for the sack the coach comment. We've not peaked. We have a lot of outs. We don't want to be at our peak now. Everyone calm down. We won. I don't think we've been overly pessimistic tonight. I was just sort of praising us before for being pretty positive and real about tonight. Tonight was about the 4 points and walking out unscathed, which was a tick and tick. We're not at our peak, which is good because you want to peak in the final series, and I think we can really begin that pursuit now to find our peak, beginning with Carlton. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it, Zeke. Very good. Some great observations in the chat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, We have Reedy.
Brother.
Mate.
Oi, oi. What's going on?
Just a casual Saturday night in. What about you?
I've just come back from the Marvel, mate.
Oh, how good? How good is it there? How lively?
Well, I'll say that you wouldn't want to have epilepsy. It's probably the last place you would want to be.
Really?
The lights are blinding, absolutely blinding.
Goodness. Was the energy dire there throughout?
Ebbs and flows.
Mm.
I think everyone was expecting a different outcome.
Mm.
It would have been nice to have gone there and just buried them, 100 points, walk away, move on next week, keep going. But yeah, look, they were up for the fight. Like, it's already been spoken about. One thing I did notice myself though, when Oleg Markov came on the ground,
I heard
he's
that.
a bit of a vibes guy. So yeah, it's good to have a spark like that. Albeit he's a bit of a nuffy, but you know, it's good to have him out there.
I love that. That's a great encapsulation. He's a fan favorite. He's a bit of a nuffy to me as well. But good energy. You know, you said it would have been nice to have buried West Coast, but unfortunately, you can't bury a person on a concrete surface, can you?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a different playing field. We know that. It's not our home ground. It's hard to get up for those games. We all know it. We've all seen it. But yeah, look, what more can you say, mate? It's the Pies bandwagon. It's 4 points. There's I don't know what to say. I'm just scrambled, mate. I've been at the Marvel. It's scrambled my
You're
brain.
rattled. The Marvels just rattled you, bro.
Oh, mate, legit. It's hit me for 6.
For 6. Now, look. On the positive side, we're already working our way towards more exciting fixtures like Carlton, like Gold Coast, Brisbane, Adelaide. These teams are what we have coming up. We have Richmond somewhere in between there. Fremantle at the G on a Sunday. Don't mind it.
Yeah, I might go to that game actually. That should be a good game, that Freo game.
Yeah. I was hanging out with I'm not sure if anyone knows Jake from Saints TV. I was having a coffee with him this morning, and he said we should see more games on I think it was him. I'm gonna say it's him. He said we should see more Sunday twilight games that are like showcase games. So I feel like the AFL, they just settle for these Perth games on a Sunday evening, and if West Coast aren't good or Fremantle aren't good, then we just have to deal with it. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Sunday is a really good time to go to the footy. You kind of in that twilight time. Oh, mate, I can't even speak.
Nah, you're good. Keep going, mate. Keep going. It's the Marvelitis.
It is, mate. It's hit me hard, but yeah, like because it is kind of boring. Like you're right. Like I don't want to watch West Coast over at Optus at 6:10 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd rather have some up and about. Like keep me going for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to crash out like the fixtures crashing out. I know I don't go to the cricket, and nor do I have a particular interest in it, but I did go to a cricket match in the summer at Marvel on a Sunday night, and it was a really good crowd. So I was like, well, why can't that be a fixture that we see in Melbourne more often than not?
Did you go to like the Big Bash game?
Yeah, I went to I think it was Renegades and the Stars. I think
the
two Melbourne teams.
Yeah, that was a good game. I was at that too.
Was it someone? Was it Maxwell who just went crazy, just broke the game open? Was it Maxwell?
Might have been.
Fuck, I don't know.
Might have been.
Marvelitis.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that far back. It's a proper like cricket stadium though. It's kind of cool. Like I don't know if you've seen that whole like debacle with Tasmania, but that new like stadium, if it gets built, it'll be really cool.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a mini Marvel in a way. Like it does have a roof, but they're going with that transparent option. which I think would bring Marvel to life. It really would. But they're not going to do that. They've talked about that for years, and it's basically just a warehouse now. Like it's a football warehouse. That's the way I put it. Like there's hospitality everywhere. It's a fun night out if you make it a fun night out. But yeah, look, it's not a place to play footy.
No.
Cricket, yeah, but like footy, no.
Yep. I mean, that's what it is. Look, we've had to put up with Essendon on a Thursday. Richmond versus Melbourne was one as well. A lot of Carlton we've seen, a bit of Port Adelaide. I think it's maybe the AFL should consider some lucrative potential fixtures on a Sunday evening. Oh, mate, if I saw Collingwood at the G on a Sunday at like 6:10, I'd go personally. I'd like to see out the weekend. That's just me, but anyways.
Yeah. Well, are you of the opinion, like, I know it's hard because obviously with our member base, we're always going to draw a crowd. I actually hit the number on the nail tonight. I said 38,000 and it was 38,000 on the knocker. So I was happy with that. But are you of the opinion that like we should play more games like, I don't know, like a Northern Territory game against the Gold Coast? We play a Hawthorn or a North Melbourne down in UTAS. Like, are you of the opinion we should play more games like that? Obviously, it's hard with, as I say, the numbers that we draw, but we never play those type of games.
I will die a happy man if we never see Collingwood in Darwin or UTAS. You know what I mean?
I do, mate. I do. Like it's just a funny one because most of the other teams in the league would play one of those sort of funny games, and we don't really play them. Like we play more of like those blockbuster showdown style games, and for good reason. But I don't know, just some food for thought.
Yeah, I'd be open to. Like, I'd be open to selling Marvel games so we can play more games in like Gold Coast. Playing against Gold Coast would be an intrigue of mine. I know that we've targeted like handing or selling Marvel to go to Gold Coast during the school holidays and playing during that time. I would be interested in that prospect, but I don't know if that ended up happening.
Yeah, nah, I can't see that happening.
Yep. So
it's because like the AFL is a business at the end of the day, right? And that kind of like contradicts my whole thing in saying that we should play some of those smaller like type games. But yeah, look, it's hard, man. Like it's a week by week thing, the AFL. I mean, I was sitting here last week cursing Ned Long, and I thought he was an absolute standout tonight. Like he wasn't best on ground, like it was Pendlebury, Dacos and the rest. But yeah, look, you could draw so many things away from what we did tonight, but West Coast were there, they put up a fight. I did say it was frustrating because it was, but it's all part and parcel. Next week's a new week, so we move on. Another 4 points to go get, and we'll see if we can go get them.
Beauty. Well said. Well said.
All right, mate. I'll end on that because it's not getting any better. Yeah, the Marvelitis has put me to sleep.
You're right. It's putting me to sleep soon too, don't worry.
All right, mate. You have a good night. Go to Pies.
Take care, Reedy. Kev.
Hey, mate. How are you?
You home?
Yeah, I'm home safe, so that's good.
Good. What did you make of tonight?
Frustrating a little bit because we allowed West Coast to take intercept marks. We just couldn't take marks ourselves. It felt like at times that we weren't prepared to play our best footy against West Coast. I thought that it's a mindset that, you know, it was going to be an easy win, but in retrospect, it's not. So maybe it might have been a flat week for the boys, on track, but again, you're going to get these type of games where you're not going to be up every single week. So as much as that we bank the wins and we get the 4 points, we knew that West Coast were gonna try and come out because they've played consistently good footy over the last few weeks as well. So, eventually when you play certain teams, it depends on their form as well. If they're in good form, well, you expect it to be a closer game. So it is what it is with that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, in retrospect now, we can probably admit that West Coast are trending in a really good direction as a club. They've had walked into their game with their head held high, and they've walked out to the game with maybe their tails up a little bit more than the week before that. So that's what we came up against. We still found a way to separate ourselves between West Coast by 5 goals in the end, and now we can focus on Carlton as soon as tomorrow.
And also too, like, don't forget North Melbourne were playing good footy too before they beat Carlton. So it's not just the them being shit for the first 6 weeks that they're going to be like that for the rest of the season. Eventually, you're going to have your ups and downs in forms, and it's going to, it's either going to be close a few weeks, and then you might get smacking, or you might win a couple. So you can't really take each team lightly. If you're off 5 or 10%, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass. But to be fair, like, West Coast kicked inaccurately. I thought at times we kicked inaccurately as well. Not going to lie, I thought there was a couple of chances that we could have got. I don't know why we just try and pass off. I know that Marchek did. Even Lipinski's like, why don't you just go back and have your shot? There's no need to try and be selfish all the time. If you're in that 30 meters out and you can kick it, go back and kick it. Don't worry about passing it off. So it was a little bit frustrating with that. Not gonna lie.
I do recall some moments where maybe we handed it off a couple times, like Myercheck to Sullivan to Lipinski, Sullivan who tried to kick it to Nick Dacos, and Mick Stay who put it into the hotspot late in the game as well. So there were moments where maybe we were a little bit too selfless and caused a little bit of havoc. So I do see that. Yeah, that was, a little bit frustrating, but Kev, it sounds pretty fucking good, and that sound is 13-2.
Fuck yeah, mate. And we're like 10 points clear second, and we're like 3 games clear third, so that's pretty good. And we're not even peaking. We're not. I've said this to my mum. We're not playing our best footy now because I thought in 2023 we played our best footy, and therefore we felt fatigued a little bit. While this year's a lot different because we're easing our way into the season and we're ticking the wins across. When we're gonna have these down games, and we've had these a few times, we've actually got the job done, and we've actually kicked on a little bit too. So it's in a positive sense, you'd rather play like this now and get them out the way and still find a way to win than trying to play your best footy throughout the whole season, and then eventually going to have that down patch where you're not going to you might win 1 or 2 games. So I think we've learned over the last few years that there's no need to play your best footy throughout the season. You're going to have big wins, you're going to have losses as a club as well, where they're going to be up and down as a fan base. But I think that we can all accept and admit that, we've learned from 2023. We're not playing our best footy. We're just cruising across, ticking the wins over, and we're getting the job done. So you can't really complain about that.
Yeah, look. North Melbourne drew with Brisbane. Geelong lost against St Kilda. We haven't had those type of results against the lesser teams this year. So that within itself is more than enough for me. If it means, we beat St Kilda by 5 goals, we beat West Coast by 5, whatever. We don't need to pump teams to give me solace and reaffirm what we are about this year. We're talking about Western Bulldogs always pumping teams, but they can't convincingly beat the top 8, top 4 teams. Every team we've played in the top 8, every challenge we've had, we've passed it with flying colours. I'd say the Geelong game, we were a kick after the siren away from that being a pass. GWS was failed miserably, but it was the opening round, you know?
Yeah, and the conditions and also form slumps are a lot different in March than it is now. It's like autumn or summer in March. It's hot conditions up there in Sydney and Brisbane. Well, in Melbourne, it's winter, so you're gonna have cold conditions. So yeah, I'm just grateful that we actually only had the 2 losses and only had 1 bad loss, and we came within a kick of beating Geelong. So if we play Geelong again, I'm confident that we can beat them in their best footy. You know.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
So.
All right, Kev. Appreciate you jumping on, my friend.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate you.
Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
All right. See you, Kev.
I'll see you. Bye.
All right. What are we saying in the chat? By the way, if anyone else wants to jump on, let me know. Giants and Brisbane were strong in 23. 2 other strong teams this year. And less shit kickers. It's the AFL. It's just teams they're all decent, aren't they? They're all decent. Like West Coast are finding form. North Melbourne, before today, have been really good in the last 5-6 weeks. People talk about potential training block towards the back end of this season to condition us and get us right for the finals. I'm not sure. Bit of conversation about Adam Tomlinson. Some people saying we really missed the boat there. Adding cover for Frampton and Darcy Moore. Hindsight is always 2020. At the start of the year when Reef did his knee, we were saying should have added Tomlinson to the list. And then we find a diamond in a rough, or we re-earthed Billy Frampton. He resurfaced. And now Billy Frampton is down, so now we're effectively down 2 key tall defenders because of Reef McInnes and Billy. We don't draft anyone that's key defender size in the mid-season draft. There was an opportunity there to take a Tomlinson. What do we go for? We went for a winger in Rowan Steele, who, could be good backup and could probably play some games this year if the opportunity found its way in. Noah Howes is not going to play he's not going to play this season. So maybe you could probably argue we should have taken a mature age defender in the mid-season draft. We didn't do that. So now we remain with Billy Frampton, who's injured, Charlie Dean, who's didn't really pass with flying colours tonight. And I think we all wanted him to, so we were all really hopeful. It didn't really pan out that way. And then we have Illaru Smith, who's a bit of a project in the backline right now. Ruckman turned into a defender, key defender. Probably not ready. That's really it. We don't have any other key size defenders. So it's this, right? It's this. This is what it is for now. It's Darcy Moore and Billy Frampton and co. Or it's Darcy Moore, Charlie Dean and co., which is the least likely of these 3, because I've got one more to say. Or it's just Darcy Moore and co. Bruzzy and Jeremy Howe have to play extra big. Simple. Voidoid says the Geelong game was an aberration. Dangerfield can't play like that all the time. Go Pies, Madison. How was your ball? How was your ball tonight? A fullback, yeah. I feel like Billy Frampton or Nathan Murphy certainly makes Darcy Moore a better player for whatever reason. Carlton will play with Pittonet and TDK against us. So they'll look to tag team DC, you reckon? I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer for them. When their kicking has been so poor, I don't know if 2 ruckman is the answer. Yeah, Voidoid, the difference between Billy and Dean is that Billy has mongrel in him. Billy really, Frampton is very competitive, ultra competitive. I've seen that at training. Size is the biggest thing, in my opinion. That's my thing. Hopefully Frampton isn't out for too long, AA. I hope so too. Soft tissues, they always scare me. Good. I'm booking my grand final seat. Did you happen to find some time for my Czech's 150th game tonight? I'm pretty sure you owe me $50, my friend. So for those who don't know, Madison Tallarico wagered against Brody Myercheck to kick 25 goals or less this season. I'm pretty sure Brody Myercheck tonight eclipsed 25 goals. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the easiest $50 I've made in my life. So, thank you, Madison. If you want to, I don't know. Just give me my money. And I want to give it to Myercheck. And I'll tell him the story. I think the Carlton mascot will get a game this week. Fair. All right. Anyone else got anything for me? We're all tired. We've all succumbed to Marvelitis. Finally. Time of death, 12:19 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Thanks to Marvelitis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on Monday for fan takeaways. Today, as in Sunday, I will do a player ratings and potentially a VFL report. I watched the first half, so I might have to watch the second half if I want to do a report that I feel comfortable sitting with. But we'll see. All right, guys, have a good night, have a good sleep, and we'll catch up. Go Pies.